Hello YouTube fans, this is TheSkullKlown. I'm here to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, before I talk about this movie, I want to talk about the other Spider-Man movies. Not the Sam Raimi ones or the Andrew Garfield one. I probably will talk about those movies in a separate time. But if you do want to get my thoughts on that real quick, then fine, I'll be quick with it. Sam Raimi Spider-Man 1, a classic, really fun, really cool. And it brought a lot of things to the superhero aspect for a lot of people. You know, people thought superhero movies were a joke still, and then when Spider-Man and X-Men came out, basically everyone was just like, oh shit, you know. Even though we already had other ones like Blade and Sqawn that got people interested and be like, oh shit, you know, in other movies that came around that time also. But Spider-Man and X-Men really were like, nah, man, we're here to stay, and if you don't fucking like it, too fucking bad. You know, it basically was like that. And Hollywood's just like, how much money are we gonna make? Seriously, man. Seriously. If you look at those two characters side by side. But Spider-Man 2 of Sam Raimi, I actually like it. I'm glad that they did Doc Ock in live action. Still looks good to this day. The special effects for Doc Ock with the tentacles and stuff like that, they still look good to this day. I would thought that the CGI would look outdated and all that. I mean, not to say there's not outdated CGI in these movies. There actually is. but for some reason, the Doc Ock one just looks good, which makes sense because they use puppetry, animatronics, and CGI all in one. That is how you do it, baby. That's how you do it. Spider-Man 3, not everyone's favorite movie, but I like Spider-Man 3. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. The thing is, with Spider-Man 2, I disliked Mary Jane like crazy. I liked her in the first movie. The second movie, I thought she was just annoying as hell. Seriously. You know? It's like, by the way, he's seen my shows. And it's like, yeah, like, good for you, bitch. And you know that I'm Spider-Man, so fuck you. I'm saving the fucking city. Seriously. And you want me to pay attention to you when I have other responsibilities to fucking do? Basically, if I'm not gonna do this, then who will? Basically, if I'm not gonna swing around, if I'm not gonna help New York City, who will? But it's kind of funny if you really think about it. You'd be like, if Spider-Man really didn't exist in New York, I think New York would have still been fine. You think? Well, yeah, they have the Avengers. You know, probably not in the Sam Raimi universe, probably somewhere. There is a reference to Doctor Strange in Spider-Man 2. That's cool. I think it was Sam Raimi's brother that pointed out to Jameson, how about Doctor Strange? And he's like, that's a good one, but it's taken. So I'm all like, taken? You mean to tell me this? You mean to tell me you mean to tell me Doctor Strange is in this universe somehow, some way? You know, I know Punisher is in this movie. Remember the Punisher movies that came around the 2000s when the Sam Raimi movies were coming out? Yeah, Punisher is in this movie. By the end of Spider-Man 2, when Mary Jane is running to Peter with the wedding dress and stuff like that, and you see like a water fountain in the background, you see a guy wearing all black and he's looking at MJ like this, and then he just walks, you know, he's walking, but he looks at her and then keeps walking. That is Punisher. That's Punisher. So Punisher is in New York also. So they were trying to do a cinematic universe back in the day, but again, copyrights, other studios. So the only thing that these directors could have done is be like, a wink. That's really it. That's really it. Be like, hey, let's just get this actor in to make it feel special and all that. Not to say other horror movies used to do that too. If you look at the original Evil Dead movie, there's a glove of Freddy Krueger on it. So there's that. So it's a really cool Easter egg basically in reference. Little wink. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, I didn't mind it. I liked it. I loved to see Venom on the screen, and I loved it to see Sandman on the screen. Sam Raimi wasn't a big fan of Venom, which is fine. You know, I was surprised to find out that he wasn't a big fan of Venom. Me, I was like, really? Venom? Venom. But, you know. But he was a big fan of the Vulture and Sandman. And we almost got Vulture in this movie, but Sony was just like, just replace him with Venom. He's the most popular character in the Spider-Man universe. And yes, he is, but Sam Raimi didn't want to use him. He does not like Venom. He does not like Venom at all. So he got his hands forced, basically. But I felt like, hey, if he really didn't like Venom, he probably could have fought a little bit more with that, or who knows? Who knows? Maybe the studio, Sony, would have been like, well, if you don't want to put Venom in, I guess we just gotta leave. You know? I wouldn't be surprised if that shit could have happened. So most likely, you know how directors are. They'll be like, hey, either I do this and I work on a character that I don't want to work on, even though I love these other characters. I guess I have to do it, because if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it and fuck it up too. You know, or something like that. I don't know. But who knows? Just who knows? Who knows around that time, around 2007 and 8, when that movie came out. But again, let's go to the newest Spider-Man. The first time we saw Tom Holland Spider-Man was in 1998. No, I'm playing. The first time we actually saw Tom Holland Spider-Man was in Iron Man 1, I believe? Or was it one of the Avengers movies? Because I know we had, because it was canon that the little kid with the helmet of Iron Man going like this to one of the villains. I think it was the first Avengers movie, but that's canon now, as he was supposed to be Spider-Man. At first I was like, I don't think that's really canon and all that, because when I first heard about it years ago, I was like, that's not really canon, isn't it? You guys are making that canon? And I found out it is canon. That's young Peter. So, hey, don't blame me. They made it canon, so you're gonna make that canon, but not the rest of the fucking goddamn shit that you fucking got? I don't know. But anyways. So and then eventually we saw Peter again, and was it Captain America Civil War, which was a fucking good movie, by the way. Still to this day, a fucking good movie, bro. You know, it was cool to see Spider-Man. Obviously, the only thing that had a gripe with that is that, first of all, it's like they bought Spider-Man because they couldn't think of anything else, or couldn't. I don't know. I feel like they bought Spider-Man because they thought that they were lacking, or fans were just stirring away. This was before Infinity War and all that stuff. Remember, around that time, I don't know if you do remember this, but I remember because I was on the internet looking at this stuff back in the day when Civil War was about to come out. Or even after it came out, a lot of people were just like, is this going to be fucking worth it with the whole Thanos shit with the Infinity Gauntlet crap? You know, because a lot of people were pissed. People were just like, this is going to be fucking shit. This shit's going to be fucking crap. You know, people were just worried. People were just sick of it. And then all of a sudden, Marvel saw it, Disney saw it, Sony saw it, and they all just, especially Marvel and Disney, so they try to collab with Sony to be like, can we just use a character? Here's the money, you know? And obviously Sony, you know how Sony is with money. So they're like, yes. So we got him. We got them there. But he didn't last that long, obviously, which is fine. I bet there was like some contract issues of how Spider-Man, how long he could be in a certain scene, kind of like what they do with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So I think they did that. I could be wrong, but hey, it could be possible, because if another studio owns another character, even though that other studio is using your character, maybe that studio is gonna make you get handcuffed of how much you can use that character on the screen. It just depends. Especially if you just about to use that character soon, you know? So it's like that. But, let's see. Anything else with that one? Okay, and then we fast forward to, then we fast forward to the Infinity War movies, and we barely see Spider-Man in that one anyways. And then eventually we get, Spider-Man. It was cool to see Spider-Man fight Thanos, though. That was cool. But I still wanted a little bit more mature Peter Parker to fight Thanos. I didn't want kid Peter Parker. I didn't want kid Spider-Man to fight Thanos. That's just me as a fan. Because I'm so fucking sick and tired of young fucking Spider-Man, man. I'm fucking sick and tired of it already, bro. I've been so fucking sick and tired of it. And I already know that once Tom Holland is done being Spider-Man, we're going to get another young Spider-Man, but it's just going to be Miles Morales. And I'm just like, could we just stop doing this shit? Could we just stop doing this shit, man? Stop rebooting Spider-Man to make him younger. It's ridiculous. It's actually embarrassing at this point. Seriously. Why does Superman and Batman, they can get older, they can get movies that they could become old or older, but not Spider-Man? You know? Oh, but those 3 Spider-Man movies, there was an older Spider-Man. Oh, we get to that piece of shit movie in a minute. Trust me. You know, I might have liked it at the time, but the more you think about that multiverse Spider-Man movie with the 3 Spider-Mans, it just collapses on itself, bro. It is just shit beyond measure. It's just fan service. And that's not good. You can have fan service, but if it's going to be a detriment to the stories that you're trying to tell, then what's the fucking point? What's the point? Erase it. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You know? So, okay, we have, what is it, Spider-Man Comes Home, Homecoming. Then, in that movie, we had Vulture. Vulture was fucking badass in that movie. That scene when Peter was about to get his date from about to get his date, and then and then the door opens and it's the Vulture and everyone. Yo, I remember I was at the movie theater when I saw that shit. And once I opened the door, I'm like, oh shit. And the whole audience was like, oh. Yo, that's a movie theater moment I will always love, bro. That's why I love going to movie theaters, because of that. You don't get that when you're watching a movie all by yourself. You don't get that you can get that when you're watching it with your friends and family, you know, that's good too. But when you're watching it with a crowd of people, you know, watching the movie theater, that shit is awesome. You know, you can't fake that shit. That's authentic as shit, you know? So it's just really, really cool. And I remember thinking in my head once Vulture opens the door and you see and he sees Peter, you know, and he's like, oh, you're gonna take my daughter out, you know? I remember when in one scene too, when he's in the car with Peter and she leaves to go inside the dance in the school or something like that, and Peter's just there like, oh shit, he's gonna do something, and then Vulture just pulls out a gun, goes like this. He's like, if you fuck with her, I'm gonna come after you and your whole family. You know, like if you break her heart, you know. Oh, it's just so good. I love freaking Vulture in this movie is freaking good, all because of the fucking actor that plays him, bro. Seriously, Michael Keaton as Batman was awesome, you know? And him as the fucking Vulture is awesome. Seriously. That man has never missed a beat. Seriously. Every movie that you see him in, he never misses a beat. He could play a hero. He could play a bad guy. He could play a fucking pathetic motherfucker. He could play so many other variety of characters, you know? And that's what's great about Michael Keaton, you know? Because it's like, when I first heard that he was going to be Vulture, I was like, oh, this has to be fucking good. You have Michael Keaton. You can't, like, maybe the movie's bad, but he has to be the highlight. And he was. He was, you know? It's like having Tim Curry, you know? Like, Tim Curry is in so many bad shit, but yet, when you watch him, you're like, yeah, I'm watching this bad shit for Tim Curry alone, because he's the highlight. He steals the show. Seriously, you know? So there's a lot of people that are like that, you know? Which is cool. So, but moving on with that, because that first movie was just really, really fun with the Vulture and stuff like that. I don't think I have much complaints with that one all that much. I feel like I can watch that movie a little bit more now than the other Spider-Man movies, right? I can watch that movie at least right next to the Sam Raimi ones. But I know people made fun of him being like, oh, he's Tony Stark Jr., which, yeah. You can't hide that fact, man. You can deny it all you want, but it's there, and it's like, it's kind of hard not to see it. Just saying. So the next movie is Far From Home, right? Far From Home? I don't know. Hold on, let's look at this real quick. Let's see, because I just wanted to know what was in order. I don't want to fuck up the order. I want my order. Oh, shit. Freaking go to fucking Burger King. Messes up your order. I want my order. Oh, that shit was funny, bro. You can't make that shit up, bro. When that should happen to somebody that I know in real life, I was just like, oh, Spider-Man, Tom Tom Holland movies. Okay. There's an extended edition of No Way Home. Okay. So, okay, we get Homecoming. Yeah, I already talked about that. Far From Home. Far From Home, to be honest, I didn't mind Mysterio. Mysterio is actually one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, but he's not, to me, he's not the villain that I like so much. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it too. In Spider-Man Homecoming, we actually got Shocker. We had 2 Shockers. The first Shocker died, and Michael Keaton was like, "You're the new Shocker." Come on! You mean to tell me you're not gonna laugh at that shit? Man, you have no sense of humor at all, and you need to get that dick out of your ass. Seriously. You know, if you don't think that shit is hilarious, that shit. Where's your sense of humor? Seriously. You don't have a sense of humor? Well then, you know what? It sounds like you're just gonna die really fast before you even hit 50 years old. Have a heart attack. Or even what is it? Like the Monty Python movie when the main characters are like running away and shit like that from a monster, and it's like the writers were like, how are we gonna figure this out? Of how are they gonna get rid of the monster? And it's like, oh, easy. The animator died. The animator that made the monster died. Croaks, dead. So the monster's dead. You can't make that shit up, bro. You can't make that shit up. And if you think that's not funny, then you can kiss my ass. No, don't kiss my ass. Eat my shit, you dog dick. If you know that reference, you deserve a cookie. Seriously, you deserve a cookie. That's how you know you are a movie buff guy. Seriously. But Far From Home, again, I did like the whole fight scenes between Peter and Mysterio, because those, even in the video games, they were freaking awesome. You know, have you ever fought Mysterio in the PS1 games of Spider-Man? You know, maybe if you haven't, that's fine. But some of them, every time you see Mysterio in these video games, he's always a highlight, you know? Sometimes he's a joke character. In Spider-Man 2, you know, he's a thorn on your side, you know, the Spider-Man 2 video game, he's a thorn on your side, and then you see him in a grocery store, he's like, yeah! And I'm over here like, yeah. Pah! At first I was like, oh, hey, we're about to fight in a grocery store, let's do this. Life goes all the way down, and I'm like, yo, you should have saw my face when I was a little kid and I played that shit, bro. I should have recorded it years ago, bro. But I did not. Because that shit was fun. It was so authentic as hell, you couldn't make that shit. I couldn't recreate that shit. It's impossible. That shit was funny as shit. You know? It was funny as shit. But at the same time, I was just like, come on, man. You hype this up, and then when you think you're about to fight him regularly, he's a weak-ass motherfucker, you know? He sounds so weak and he's scrawny and shit like that. That shit was funny, though. It's so fucking funny. When you could take something so menacing, but then it's like, he's not menacing at all. It's, again, going back, it's like the movie Up, when you have this freaking Rottweiler dog and shit like that. I remember when I saw that movie, too. that part was funny. It's like, man, no jokes are gonna come out of this dog. Seriously, he's gonna be this intimidating guy. He's not gonna have fun. And then all of a sudden in the voice box, no, soon the butter will be ours. Yo, I was like, what the fuck? Oh, God, man. I'm telling you, stuff like that never change. Please never change. Seriously, that's literally, please never change, because that shit is funny as fuck, bro. That, to me, that's funny as hell. That is really, really funny. So, that's just me. I just have to point some stuff out here, because that's just the way I am. So, and this is not a review, it's just me, my thoughts and my opinions of the new Spider-Man movie, Brand New Home. But, so No Way Home. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to talk about this fucking movie eventually. No Way Home. I thought Doctor Strange was fine. The whole part of Peter has to lose his friends to save them and stuff like that. That's not bad or anything like that either. Even having the 3 Spider-Mans come is a good concept and stuff like that. And even the villains and stuff. That's all cool and dandy and stuff like that. It's all about the execution though. You killed Aunt May in this movie, which is okay. To give that line to with great power comes great responsibility. I don't know. To me, to me, that whole aspect, like I didn't mind Aunt May say that, but at the same time, there's no Uncle Ben in this universe. I mean, there is, but he's dead. So, you know, you would think Uncle Ben would give him that quote to him. And then when when Aunt May, don't worry, I get to Mary Jane soon. Once Aunt May says it, they should have had like Peter's face being like, you know, like, man, Uncle Ben said the same thing before I put the Spider-Man suit on. I saw him before he died and stuff like that. You know, hinting that, oh, that still happened, that backstory that happened. But we don't know that as much, you know? And that's kind of way fine, but at the same time, it's like, do you want to talk about it or do you not? Because that's how this movie franchise is with the Spider-Man ones, the newest ones. Because sometimes they want to go this way, then they pull back, and it's like, then they do it, but they still pull back. It's like you do it, pull back, still do it, and then they're like, wait. Why are you handcuffing yourself, bro? You have Spider-Man for crying out loud, and you're handcuffing yourself. Or should I say you're webbing yourself? No. I just seek myself out. No. So, okay. Why do I not like this movie as much as I used to anymore? Because this movie does not make fucking goddamn sense whatso fucking goddamn ever. Remember years ago when I mentioned that Incredible Hulk, the original Incredible Hulk is still the thing? It's still, the Hulk that we see now is still the original Incredible Hulk from 2002 or 2003. Just because they rebooted back in what, in 2008 or 7? Does not mean that's not still that does not mean that it's still not the same Incredible Hulk. It still is. It still is. You know? If you look in research about, Lee's Hulk, it's literally the same Hulk that we see today. This is what fucks up this whole fucking universe. And not just that, the fan service with the 3 Spider-Mans doesn't go as far as it needs to be. You have one Spider-Man saving MJ because she's falling like how Gwen Stacy fell, and then you have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saving her, and then you have the crowd being like, oh yeah, you know, like he got his redemption and shit like that, you know? At first it's like, okay, fine, maybe you can be happy for that, but when I first saw that shit, I'm just like, you're just trying to make fans happy for certain things that happen to a certain character. Because, look, I don't know what to tell you, but Spider-Man is supposed to have a miserable life. He is. He can be happy, and he can have relationship and shit like that, but guess what? Those stuff is gonna fall to the wayside. Why? Because he has Spider-Man shit to do, basically. He can't get married, he can't have a normal life, he can't have a date, because he's doing Spider-Man shit. Not to say we never had a Spider-Man that did that he had a house, picket fence, and family and all that shit and still did Spider-Man shit. Yeah, we've had stories like that. We had stories like that with Batman and Superman already. But at the same time, it's like, at least with this Spider-Man, sorry, not feeling it, basically. Seriously, I just didn't felt it. I just didn't care. You know? That's just me. Everyone else is different when they see these movies, especially when they think about it nowadays. So, again, that's just me. Hey, if you feel different from these movies, that's totally fine. I'm just telling you how I feel about these movies, or how I see what these movies could have been a little bit more, you know? So, the new Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day. Good God, good fucking heavens. There's some scenes that I do like. Incredible Hulk was cool. Seeing Hulk's green eyes fucking finally. Oh, we seen the Hulk's green eyes. Yeah, in the 2003 movie and also in the 2008 or 7 movie. No, you're not wrong about that. But ever since we had another actor that became Hulk to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, basically, because the other actor that was going to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he left because he wanted to do something different with Incredible Hulk. He wanted Hulk to be this. He wanted to be more accurate to Incredible Hulk from the comic book. And Marvel did not want that. Disney did not want that. They wanted a Hulk to. They didn't want Rage Hulk. They wanted a Hulk that was tame. And that's not Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk goes through shit. All right. Bruce Banner and Incredible Hulk, they hate each other. They despise each other. One wants to kill the other. Okay? That's the relationship between Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk. They hate each other, they want to kill each other, but they can't. You see? That's the relationship I've been wanting to see on the big screen or even small screen for a long time for Incredible Hulk. Okay? Because the only time we ever got that was Lee's Hulk back in 2003. And also the original Hulk that came out in the 70s, I think, and a little bit of the 80s. You know? Those right there put more of what Incredible Hulk is than what we see nowadays. You know? And in this movie, you have Hulk having like a little device to make sure he doesn't go to Hulk mode, and Peter goes up to him to try to figure out how he can use that, because in this movie, Peter's body is changing. You know, his body is morphing. He's becoming an Anamorphous. No, but you know, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. No, at this point, might as well. He looks like a Power Ranger. Have you noticed that? Especially with the almost suit that Spider-Man gets. You know, I never really thought about that until now. It's like, you know what? I think he's more closer to a freaking what is it? It's a Power Ranger. But moving on. But Peter's body's changing, and he's trying to limit that change because he's basically blacking out every time, you know. And at first, you know, there was rumors and speculations. Oh, he's going to get the Venom suit. I didn't think that at all. I did not want him to get the Venom suit in this movie. You know, I even heard that he might get this Venom suit in this movie, and then we see him in Secret Wars, basically, because we're not going to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday. We're not going to see him in there, basically. But we are supposedly going to see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fighting Wolverine. Supposedly that's supposed to be the opener for that movie. I don't know. Things could change. So that's just rumors. That's just speculations. So it could just be a nothing burger at this point, you know. But anything else that I wanted to say? Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. I thought she was fine. I thought you did pretty well, to be quite honest with you. And there was a scene that she possesses people's bodies, obviously. And she possesses this old guy, and she goes to the streets, and she gets, boom, run over, and the guy gets run over, and the guy basically dies, and a lot of people would be like, Spider-Man is trying to save a fucking villain. Spider-Man is trying to save this villain, and I'm only here like, yeah, Green Goblin killed people, and so did Doc Ock, and guess what? Peter still tried to help him. Even in this version of Peter Parker, this version of Tom Holland Spider-Man, even he tried to help Green Goblin, Electro, freaking Lizard, and Green Goblin. He still tried to help them, you know? Seriously, but it's just I never got that when people talk shit about what Jean Grey did in that scene. Oh, she killed somebody. Why is Peter obsessed with these women killers or some shit like that? I'm over here like, no, I'm just hearing it from some people, and I'm over here like, guys, you're acting like Peter never tries to help a killer, you know? Of course, Peter questions it, and there's so many aspects of Spider-Man when he's like, oh, what, like the animated series of Spider-Man, when he's fighting Green Goblin, and Green Goblin took everything away from him. Basically, there's no MJ. MJ is like in this portal dimension that she's swinging. I don't fucking know. Still to this day, even as a kid, I was just like, what were they doing with this whole device thing that opens portals and shit? So it's still cool, but at the same time, I'm still trying to figure out why they did that as a story when they could have just had Green Goblin versus Spider-Man instead of just having this device that fucks up everything. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like they wanted to do something like that just to. I mean, I feel like they wanted to do something just to change it up. I guess for Peter and Goblin to fight or something like that. But anyways, there's a part in the animated well, technically you could say movie because they made a DVD of it, but whatever. But in one of the episodes, the Goblin mask is peeled off, and Norman comes back to his senses. And Norman is like, Spider-Man, help me. And Spider-Man is like, why on earth I would do that? And Norman Osborn's like screaming because the fan is about to cut him. There's like a big giant fan right behind him. And he's like holding on and shit. He's like, ah, you know? And then Peter thinks to himself, no, as much as I hate him for what he's done, I can't let him die. You know, nothing wouldn't change that, you know, and that wouldn't help me to try to save Mary Jane, you know? So again, all of these thoughts that he had in his head, you know, it just makes you think that, okay, that's cool, you know, but that's why I point that out, because so many people complain about the Jean Grey scene when she kills a homeless man basically just by possessing him. She's out on the street like number 5 from freaking Umbrella Academy, and I'm just like, yeah, guys, these villains kill people. Sorry. You know? Oh, but they wasn't trying to push Jean Grey as a villain. Oh my god. You don't know anything about Jean Grey, don't you? She's the Phoenix, for crying out loud, man. Alright? Watch the original X-Men live action movies, bro. That will explain everything that you need to know about her. Seriously, bro. I don't get it. I don't like the fact sometimes that people want to change certain characters just because they want to fit their certain needs. I'm like, no, this is how this character is. This character's always been that way. And yes, there might be some aspects that might change because of like, you know, like if Jean Grey came out in the 90s, she would represent the 90s, for example, you know? And if there was a Jean Grey in the 70s, there would be one representing the 70s, you know? It's like that. Every generations we have a represent of a character, you know? That's always happened. It's still going to happen to this day, you know? So and it's going to happen way before when all of us are all gone anyways. So, and the thing is, what I have a problem with is just that people just think that Spider-Man has never helped a villain before. That's the only thing that got me baffled. Oh, why is Spider-Man helping her? You know, like, oh, she killed people and shit. Yeah, so has Green Goblin. So has many other people, like freaking Venom. Freaking Sandman has killed people. You know, you mean to tell me when Sandman became Sandman, with all that sand and destroying shit, you mean to tell me not one person didn't get fucked up by that sandstorm that he makes? You know? Even though, yeah, he killed Uncle Ben by accident, it wasn't really his fault, but still, you know, like, he still joined Venom. He almost killed Peter by just slamming him like this. You know? Come on, guys. Oh, God. I don't know, just forget it. But MJ, let's go to MJ. A long time ago, when this actress was announced her to be Mary Jane, a lot of people that grew up in the 70s and 80s were pissed off. They were like, oh, Zendaya being MJ? She's not even a redhead. She's not even that girl next door that's a hottie with that's an hourglass body and shit, you know? Like the original MJ from the Sam Raimi movie, you know? But I'm only here like, just like how just like how I explained before that they use these characters to make them to the times that they were made, basically. That's what they did with MJ. Look, is this my favorite interpretation of MJ? No, it's not. Even in the Sam Raimi version, it's not my favorite interpretation of MJ. Trust me, I haven't been a fan of MJ in a long fucking time. Okay? Seriously, even in the animated show of Spider-Man, I was sick of the shit out of her. I was sick of her so much. I like the Black Cat a lot more. That's just me, man. I want Spider-Man and Black Cat just to be together because at least they understand each other and they understand the memo basically. Because MJ, she doesn't understand that shit at all. Motherfucker, in one of the episodes of the anime series, she throws herself out of the building like fucking Lois Lane. Seriously, I remember seeing that in the new Superman show too. She just throws herself to Clark Kent. She just throws off a building. And Clark is like, no, and then just to see if he's really Superman. I'm like, what the? I probably should have mentioned it in that movie, but I didn't. I'm just mentioning it here because it's the same thing what we saw with the animated series with Spider-Man when MJ does the same fucking shit. What are you doing with this character? But in here, she's fine. In this movie, I don't have no complaints about her. I haven't had no complaints about her in this whole series. The only thing that I have one complaint about is just that there's nothing for me to hold ground, I only feel sorry for her because Peter is sad, and I feel sorry for Peter for not getting with her. Because in reality, they're supposed to get together. They're the canon couple, basically. Even though I don't like that. To me, Peter and MJ should never be a canon couple. It's always going to be Black Cat and Spider-Man, in my opinion. Seriously, That's just me. Anything else? Ned? I have no complaints with Ned, actually. Ned is supposedly in the future, I don't want him to be that, though. Supposedly, Ned is supposed to be a future Hobgoblin, and the actor is kind of excited for him to be that way. But I don't want Ned to be that way. I don't want Ned to become a Hobgoblin or a villain for Peter. But we did have another dimension, another universe, basically. Like, Peter changed everything, because of Doctor Strange and shit like that. So in this version, maybe Ned could be a villain, basically. But at the same time, I just don't want that. I don't care for it, to be quite honest with you. At first, when I first saw Ned, I was like, hey, man, Spider-Man has a bro. Spider-Man has a guy that could be there for him and shit like that. Bros before hoes and shit like that, And then you hear rumors that he might be a villain in the future. And I'm like, that goes to the tragedy of Spider-Man. I can see that. But then the more I thought about it more and more and more, I'm just like, still to this, the more I thought about it, I'm just over here like, I'm just thinking that he still hasn't met Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy. This version of Spider-Man hasn't met Gwen Stacy or Norman Osborn. But there's a scene in this movie where a girl tries to flirt with Peter. I'm not saying she's Gwen Stacy. I don't think she is. I think she's Black Cat. I think she's Felicia Hardy. I could be wrong. You know how many kids in this movie that I saw that I was just like, that's Miles. I'm dead serious. I won't be surprised if Miles Morales is in this movie. And then later on, they're like, oh yeah, he was here all along. Just like what they did with Peter. I would not be surprised if they did that. They did it with Iron Man and Peter. Now they're going to do it with Peter and Miles, So to pass on the torch in the future or something like that, But I already discussed that already. Is there anything else I could talk about this movie? Well, you found out that Jean Grey is trying to save her sister. And you find out that there's this other guy that is just, it's funny too, because this is not a regular villain. This is just a random Joe guy that is just fucking up mutants, basically, And Spider-Man is a mutant, by the way. Seriously. Look back at the animated series of Spider-Man. I am no mutant. Looking at Wolverine, I'm nothing like you. It's like, racist much? Damn, Peter. I didn't know Peter could be actually a racist. Yo, man, I'm telling you, that animated series showed so much light of what Peter is. It is ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. And hopefully in the future they do show that aspect of Peter. But I don't think they're going to do that. You know why? Because they want to make him, look, Spider-Man is the Mickey Mouse of Marvel. I'm sorry to tell you that. He is. He is. He's the Mickey Mouse of Marvel Studios. So do you really think they're going to do that to him? I don't think so. The reason they did that back in the 90s TV show is because, what is it? Well, obviously they were following some comic books and all that. And plus Peter was a little bit older in that show too. But the reason they did that is most likely other themes of storylines, basically. They did it for story purposes, most likely, you know? And it was the 90s. I mean, if Peter was more of a rebel in the 90s, then okay, you know, that's how it was back in the 90s. And a little bit, obviously, in the 80s, too. Because there was, like, always this rebellion that started, and then it kept going and going. Obviously, it started, what? Probably back in the 60s, probably. The whole, you know, fight the man type shit, obviously. But that's another side shit. I'm just trying to think with Peter when it comes to that aspect of him, but it's not coming to my head right now. That's fine. It probably doesn't really matter all that much anyways. But in the grand scheme of things, this movie is fine, in my opinion. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. People said that this is better than... People said that this movie is right next to Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and I call bullshit. I call bullshit. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, that's still to this day, to me, that's the only good Spider-Man movie that we ever got. Like, if you talk, like, not to say I don't hate the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, but I'm talking about if there's a best superhero movie of all time, there's two of them that I'm going to mention right now. One, The Dark Knight. Two, Spider-Man 2. You cannot top those two movies. All right, and most people might mention other superhero movies like Batman '89 and all that stuff, but no. We're going to talk about now, basically. You know, because those two, the thing is, those two movies had those movies of Batman, they walked and flied. You see what I did there? So The Dark Knight could literally be a magnum opus. You know? Trust me, that movie does have flaws, The Dark Knight, and so does Spider-Man 2. But they still the best superhero movies of all time. They're at least the top 3 or top 5. Or at least top 10. It's not top 20. I'm not going to say that. You know why? Because it should be at least in the top 10 of the best superhero movies of all time. I know Howard the Duck is not going to be on that list. And I love Howard the Duck, but it's not going to be on that list. Let me just tell you that right now. You know, I won't put him on that list. You know, and again, I love that character, but he's not going to be on that list. So it's a whole different list. He's just not in it. Sorry, man. But let's see. So Jean Grey finds out who the villain is. She tries to get revenge. Peter tries to help. Punisher is in this movie, and Peter tries to, Peter has this relationship with, Punisher of like, hey, I saved you, so you owe me and shit like that. And Punisher was like, stop bringing that shit up. The thing is, too, I wouldn't mind that all that much if they showed a little bit of a flashback to that. Maybe they should have had that in the beginning of the movie, and then once we see that, then we'd be like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny, you know? But they don't do that, so we're just thinking of, like, what happened around that time? How did Peter save you, Punisher, you know? But I do like Punisher and Spider-Man's dynamic with each other. A lot of people pointed out they have like a brother, a bromance basically. They're basically like brothers. Basically, they're acting like brothers in the movie. With how they bicker and stuff like that. It is. I would say yes. They try to emphasize that, but. I mean, I still had a good time with Spider-Man and Punisher bickering at each other and obviously helping each other too, because that's what they do, you know? Again, in the animated TV series, Punisher didn't like Spider-Man, you know? Punisher was trying to expose Spider-Man, you know? I remember when He even knows the identity of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and he saw him going on the glider, Goblin's glider, and he falls, and then Punisher is just like, now that I saw you on that glider, I know I'm right. Huh? What's this, Parker? A big giant explosion happens. Goblin is flying. Peter was like, oh, well, what do you know? That must be me up there. Guys, come on, bro. Come on. That type of shit, hilarious. Hilarious. That's the type of dynamic between Spider-Man and Punisher. That's how it should be. And in a way, they kind of capture that. They did, in my opinion. That's just me. Hey, you can disagree with me all you want. That's fine. I know a lot of people hate this movie. Hate this movie. Trust me, a lot of people hate this movie. When I was at the movie theaters, I had a mixed reaction when the movie ended. People that were in front of me, people that were right next to me, in front of me, they were like, what the? They were pissed. The people in the back of me, they loved it. They clapped, you know, they did, they loved it. But the people right next to me, bro, they were livid. I was like, I was just, you know, observing. I was just analyzing it. I was just like, you know, I'm glad I felt that movie experience, you know, because I really never felt that movie experience before when the audience that I'm sitting with is just split down the middle. I never had a movie experience like that. Not to say people don't have those split opinions in social media and all that. Yes, that happens. But when you go to an event, you know, and watch an event, basically, and people just split down the middle of it, you know, it's just like, fuck, you know. Obviously, I get that a lot with WWE, you know. So it's nothing new with me when it comes to wrestling. But when you feel that atmosphere, when you're just there and you feel that atmosphere, you just look at it like, because you're not even judging the audience, you're judging the movie at that point. Because the movie is supposed to make sure everyone likes it. When it's split down the middle like that, the movie didn't do its job. It didn't do its job. Or maybe it did do its job. What was the goal for the director? That's the thing. And the thing is, the guy that made this movie made, what is it, the 7 Greens or the 9 Greens movie. I actually liked that movie until the ending part with the dragon and stuff like that. I didn't mind the dragon, but it just ran its course, and I was just like, just end, movie, just end. You guys were good, and then you had this fucking wall that breaks open and a dragon comes out, and I'm over here like, guys, you already defeated the villain. What more do you need? What are you doing? It's like they added something else to make the runtime a little bit more. And it's just like, you guys are already good. The runtime is fine the way it is. Stop trying to make it more longer than what it actually is. You know, it makes no sense, man. If it's 90 minutes long, leave it 90 minutes long. If it's 75 minutes long, leave it 75 minutes long. You know, for example. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like they want to add something to it, but that's just me. So that is my movie experience of this movie. Tell me what you guys think about it down below. Did you have some similar? Did you had a similar experience? Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied and shit like that. Happens to me a lot when I'm talking fast, and a lot happens. But how do you guys feel about this movie? This is the only Spider-Man movie. Well, not really the only one, because we have seen Tom Holland's Spider-Man in New York, yes. But this is the one that shows more of him in New York. And we do get some side villains that we see. I have to point this out. Tombstone, I was looking forward to see Tombstone in this movie. And Scorpion is in this movie too. And I'm excited to see Scorpion and Tombstone. But they don't do shit with them. They don't do shit. They don't do anything with them. Tombstone is just there, just, highlights and all that stuff. That's fine. But wouldn't it be cool after that scene that I mentioned before with the whole backstory of Punisher and Spider-Man? Once that scene happens, you get right to the action of Spider-Man fighting Tombstone. You know, that would have been great right there. You know, you cut to that. You cut to what happened between Punisher and Peter, and then we skip all the way to when Peter's just dangling, from the rooftops, and Tombstone's just holding him and shit like that, like it's just cut to that, and then we can see Tombstone and have the actor be Tombstone, because the actor that they picked to play as Tombstone is a great fucking actor. I've seen him in other shit, and he's great in Black Lightning as Tobias Wales. Why in the fuck you did not take advantage of that actor? He looks exactly. You did the makeup on him exactly so fucking good. And what did you do with him? Waste the actor, waste the makeup, waste the talent, and throw him away. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how much I was a big fan of Tombstone until I was almost at T-Bone. What is this? Am I playing as Shelton Benjamin in a WWE game? What's going on? That's his finisher move, by the way. If you didn't know, that's why it was like T-Bone. So Tombstone, you mean to tell me you're not gonna have again? Like I said, I didn't know how crazy a fan I was from Tombstone until this movie came out, because I was so eager to see at least a few scenes with him, or maybe how he will react to Jean Grey and other people that were there, especially Hawk. Nothing whatsoever. Especially interacting with the guy that is trying to go after the mutants and captures freaking Jean Grey. Nope. No. We're not going to do none of that shit. We're not doing none of that. None of that whatsoever. And we're just going to highlight these ninjas too. What if the ninjas was working with Tombstone? Or how about this? The guy that was capturing Jean Grey, Tombstone and the ninjas are working with him, because we found out that the ninjas are working with him anyways. So wouldn't it make sense if Tombstone was working with the guy that was capturing Jean Grey or looking for her, because he knows Spider-Man is a mutant? So it makes sense that, hey, if I'm going to take out a mutant, let's work with a mutant. And basically, he was doing that anyways when he's working with Peter, to fuck him over later on. So there's so many aspects and layers you could have done. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This movie should have been a cult classic. This movie should have been a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 movie. Overall, this movie, for me, gets a 5 out of 10. Yes. All right? I still enjoyed it for what it was, but it's not the best Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. I still will watch Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. And I got nothing against the actors. I got nothing against this movie. It's just Marvel. I have something against, especially Sony. There's this whole aspects of different licenses of fucking different people. For crying out loud, Incredible Hulk is still owned by Universal. And they're never going to make a movie about him at all. But they still want to use his character. They still want to hold the character rights. Oh God, it's just ridiculous, man. It's just so ridiculous in my opinion. So maybe, look, at first, I gave this movie, when I first saw this movie, I gave it like a 7 out of 10 when I first saw this movie. Then I thought about it more and more. And look, I didn't even see the reviews over this movie. I didn't. Still to this day, I have not seen a review, haven't seen no videos of people talking about this movie. I've seen videos of people talking about this movie before it came out, but once it came out, I didn't put no review. I didn't see no videos about it. All right, because I want to give my authentic thoughts in this video about how I reacted and felt when I saw this movie, and how I still feel about this movie right now. When people were talking to me about it, like my sister and my brother-in-law, when they were looking at me, be like, "Oh, how'd you feel about the movie?" and stuff like that. I'm like, it's all right, And I told my sister I give it a 7 out of 10. But then a few days later, I'm like, there's some days I might give this movie a 7 out of 10, and other days I might give it a 4 out of 10. Yeah, that's just how I feel about this movie, bro. I'm up and down with it, just like the audience I was with. It's ridiculous. It's kind of funny that happened that way. But hey, You know, the movie experience is a very special experience, to be quite honest with you. You know, even if you don't have that movie experience, watching it with people is still pretty good, in my opinion. Watch it with somebody. You know, that's the best part about these movies, though. I feel like you need to watch it with somebody, because if you just watch these movies all by yourself, you're probably not going to be, you're probably not going to have as much fun as you think you should have, because these movies, yeah, they're supposed to be fun. You know. Not to say you can't watch a movie that's all by yourself. That's not fun. I mean, for crying out loud, I was going to review this movie soon, because this movie is actually pretty fun. You know, so I look forward to that video, because I want to do it at least today if I have the time to do it, because I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. The cancer that is Kingdom Hearts 4. Oh God, I am dying. Well, anyways, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Tell me what you guys think down below about this movie. Tell me what you guys think about my thoughts, my opinions about this movie. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you thought my opinions were fucking bullshit? Or do you think your opinion matters and nobody else is? But anyways, so yeah, what do you feel about this movie? How do you feel about the other Spider-Man movies that I mentioned? How do you feel about some of the stuff that I mentioned about Spider-Man, and how do you, and what's your thoughts and feelings about how I talked about this movie, of how there could have been so much layers to the aspect of this movie when you really think about it after you watch the movie. And then when you do think about it, after you do watch it, you're like, there's no, you know, I will say this right now, I'd rather watch this movie than the Super Mario Brothers movie. The Mario Galaxy movie. I'd rather watch this movie than that movie, because that movie is, you talk about fan service and No Way Home. Oh! Mario Galaxy got you covered. You want fan service? There you go. Here's your fan service. What? You want a Super Smash Brothers movie? Ah, nah. It's just Mario Galaxy. Oh. But, let's see. The next movie I am going to see is Coyote vs. Acme, because I've been dying to see that movie. I want to see it. So I am going to look forward to it. I am going to see that movie in the theater once it comes out, and I will talk about it as soon as I, get my bearings with my thoughts and stuff like that. Because sometimes I could talk about something right away, but other times I'm like, I really need to think about what I just watched. Because it's like, do I like it? Do I not? It's just very weird. And that's how I felt about this movie. This movie is just, it's there, but it's not there. You know? I am happy that at least they're doing something with the X-Men. At least there's that. You know, you see Jean Grey walking off inside a bus into the sunset. Most likely she's going to meet the X-Men very, very soon. Not if all of a sudden we get another scene when she comes back, when Sadie Sink comes back as Jean Grey. Now if we get another scene with her, and all of a sudden Professor Xavier texts her or messages her or sees her somehow. You know how it's, he probably won't text her, knowing how Dr. Xavier is. He would just telepathically talk to her. And then she just goes over there, you know. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be a scene like that in the future. Maybe not now, maybe not, but maybe in the future when we see another X-Men movie, once Jean Grey is in it, because we know we're going to see her again, obviously. So I think we're going to see her in Secret Wars, I believe, right? We're going to see Sadie Sink in Jean Grey in Secret Wars, I believe. And obviously we're going to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in Secret Wars also. So again, I'm almost done with this video, but I just want to give my thoughts on the final two Avengers movies real quick. Avengers Doomsday, again, I'm just looking for a good action movie. That's all I'm looking for. I don't care for the story. I don't care for the characters. I just want a good action movie. And if you can give me good characters and good story, then that's a bonus. Because right now, when it comes to the Marvel Universe, I just want good action. And the thing is, in this Spider-Man movie, there is good action. I'm not going to say there's not good action. There is good action, because in the, 7 Rings or 9 Rings movie, that had good action too. So I just hopefully they can make some good action in Avengers Doomsday. And as for Avengers Secret Wars, why did you pick the color font that looked like Avengers Infinity War? Is that just me? Maybe it is just me. Because I've been seeing the same color, well, whatever. Hey, it's a Hollywood thing. You know how many times Hollywood used the same lighting and color and shit? Like, I don't know, whatever. I don't have to say that. Everyone knows that. You could just see the posters in the movies. But yeah, that's really it. I'll see you guys later. And be safe. And tell me what you guys think about this Spider-Man movie, man. Do you think it's better than Spider-Man 2? Or do you think it's as good as Spider-Man 2? To me, it's not. Spider-Man 2 will always be up there. You know? And the other Spider-Man movies are just there. Like the Sam Raimi movies, I'm going to put it to a high regard, especially because Spider-Man 2 is so good. You know? Yes, the series probably didn't end it in a good note, basically. But at least Spider-Man 2 is still freaking awesome. And then after that, the other Spider-Man movies, at least the live-action ones, I'm just like, you know? I didn't even mention the fucking multiverse Spider-Man movies, which, okay. Maybe I should mention it here. Okay, because it's right here. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I like this movie. The second movie, though, left you on a cliffhanger. And I just was like, you guys couldn't just make this its own movie. You literally had to make it a two-parter for this movie. Seriously. I don't know. That's just me. I felt like they should have not done that, you know? And if you are even gonna do it, it just felt off. Like, once the that other Spider-Man movie with Miles Morales, the second one, once that movie was coming to a close, you have freaking Gwen Stacy still talking and stuff like that, and I'm looking at the timer, and my friend presses the button and see how much we have left, and it's about to end, and I'm over here like, we should be at the credits already. What the fuck is, like, we still have stuff going on. What the fuck, what's going on? What are you doing with this movie? You know, that's just me with that Spider-Man movie. That's just me, because I don't know why it got me, like, I don't know. That movie just made my eyes roll once that movie ended. I was like, oh, you're making a sequel. Just you're making a two-parter, you know? I don't know. The thing is, I don't mind two-parter movies and shit like that. I mean, they're already doing it anyway. They've done it with all these other movies. But it's just that the way that Spider-Verse movie ended, with the whole multiverse of Spider-Mans everywhere and stuff like that, the way that movie ended, I'm just like, okay. You know, Miles' dad is going to die, then he tries to stop it for his dad dying. All the Spider-Mans go after him to make sure that he doesn't fuck up the timeline. He still fucks it up. His father still dies. But in doing so, there's a version of him that goes to the dark side. That movie should have came out this year or a long time ago, man. This movie should not come out in 2028 or 2027, man. I just don't care at that point, man. I don't. I just don't give a shit. Spider-Man Across the what is it? Yeah, I have to look at the title again. Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, that was the first one. So, but yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting these names mixed up because I'm just so fucking sick and tired of it. Yeah, so Across the Spider-Verse. This movie's fucking terrible. This movie's fucking terrible. The other Spider-Man movie was fucking better with Miles Morales. This one's just bad, bro. Just really bad. I don't know. But it looked nice. Whatever. I'll see you guys.